Good morning for me, and hello, world. What you're seeing is something really beautiful. This is Google Chrome with special feature that allows for an animated scene. Um, Along with that, you can also see this is description. This is a beauty of KDE, that play that I have. I think. And by the way, I get a different scene every minute. I love beautiful things. And speaking of beautiful, um, my country, United States, such a beautiful country. And its initial concepts were so lofty, so wonderful, so well crafted for the time. Afterwards, we proved on that. We have been a great contributor to advance democracy around the world. I'm very sad to see the rise of Trump and Elon Musk. Uh, that's not in the interest of the American people. It's not a good thing, not at all. And hmm, so I'm thinking that we need to take action. Very proud of what the Midas touch has done. It's just so wonderful. Such a great, I don't know what they call it. It's an organization of a lot of channels that are the resistance um, to Trump and Elon Musk and to this kind of attack on our Western democracy, on democracy itself. So this is a time for heroes, time for people to stand up uh, and support the beautiful, um, uplifting attempt at an educated and caring democracy. Of course, as this channel points out, it takes more than just democracy. For democracy to work well, it means that we have to be less greedy, less selfish, less power mongering, more empathetic. But just empathy alone just means to share feelings of one another and to connect the heartstrings. Empathy needs to connect to basic needs. And as it connects to those basic needs, it needs processes that help with that. That's means that objectivity, love of truth, needs to be applied. And then I call that a form of empathy because you have empathy and then you add this. And it means that how is that empathy delivered? In that case, it's you being a bit of a counselor or an educator. Um, and that's the kind of role that you play with objective empathy, and the role you play with creative empathy. I call it the artist. That's where you see things from a lot of different perspectives and put them all together. That's just amazing, right? Now, additionally, there is compassionate and compassionate empathy is, well, it's something that helps us to it helps us to have the safety, the felt safety, heal. You're not in a compassionate situation. Hold your feelings in. Can't express your feelings, and therefore you can't well express your needs. So, passionate empathy is very important in that role. I call it the caregiver. The artist, back to the artist. The artist is an amazing perspective. It's it's it gives us the virtue of artfulness, whereas compassion gives us virtue, goodness, and objectivity, the virtue of truth. The artist and us give us virtue of artful. Look at things from a lot of different perspectives and how they fit together. It's almost musical. It's looking for the right blend that's useful, and that creativity, what we all forms art of anything. Now, when we're talking about democracy, democracy needs all of these perspectives. Got to be able to see things many points of view to better meet the needs of health or anybody. Um, it's a very powerful form of empathy. It's caring, empathetic. It's also creative, and that means you can try new things, come up with points of view, put things together, and the relationship we have with the artist is kind of mystical. It's because the artist in you is creator of all you imagine. So it creates the other roles. It creates who you are, which I call the kid, dramatic experience that experiences what I call the dramatic timeline, or sense the past, present, future, how those fit together. Um, that is your dramatic self. It relationship between the kid and the artist. Wow, that's just amazing. Because when you have a relationship with that part of you that creates, it creates all that you imagine, even yourself. That's and you go into the research regarding human brain, you realize that this artist is kind of the real you, but the dramatic self was in this play, um, experiencing all the drama. The drama isn't needs to be appreciated. You got to get outside of the drama, to really appreciate the drama. That's why we have movies, plays. You're outside of the drama, then you can really appreciate the story, and you can appreciate any story, even a horror story. So, in a sense, when you're in that position, you're in heaven. Everything's good, everything's beautiful. And when you try to talk to the part of you that is kid, the drama, you can create new perspective. You can create new things, perspectives, and experiences that can become new memories. Um, it's a beautiful place to be. The two communicating, like I say, mystical. One part of your brain trying to know, I think so, trying to know the whole self, right? Never completely possible. And get closer, closer. Mystery, wonder is there. And it's the same when we study the universe. We're part of the universe, trying to vision the entire universe. We can get closer. It's almost a kind of worshipful kind of position to be in. That's why I refer to it as spiritual. I'm not telling you to jump off the deep end into supernatural beliefs or something. I'm just saying that's how it really is. That kind of spirituality is necessary for it. No, I mean, I'm trying to get you to understand how politics works, is influenced by and influences uh, this inner mind communication how how it how best to approach um, not only yourself but society and politics. So politics should support democracy. Should be open-minded enough to have a lot of different perspectives to be a good voter. You need to be objective, know the facts, and you need to be passionate. And wow, all these are ways to meet human needs. You need to be compassionate so that you can love self and others and make that safe place, express needs and have them fulfilled. So all of that, how does it work politically? Well, in politics, talking about social structure and governance, and that governance, and it is, well, what is part of you, the perspective that's governing? That's your objective self, your inner counselor, when going after the truth. That's part of governance. Now, these things um, are a matter of what you're emphasizing, moving into the social perspective, organizational perspective, you or even in yourself. Um, all of there is the, for instance, in government, there's the business of government, and business is like dramatics. Trade is connected to the part of you closest survival, trade. That's how we relating to make trade. So business is like the kid in you. Government is like counseling. But in, as I would start to say, within governance is the business of governance, creativity, the art, how well uh, are coping with, and there's passionate that's involved well, and that compassion. What organization deal with compassion? Your extended family organization, churches, mosques, synagogue, and other secular extended family organization. So that's your compassionate. Now, beyond that, let's look at the what is the artist, what organization, society is born by creativity, looking at things from a lot of perspective. That's your media. And in media, business aspect, uh, passionate, you also have what you're emphasizing. All three exist, but it's a matter in organization what your main and understanding. These three need to be divided. They have a clear voice on any of them taking over the others. Now, what do all of these things communicate to? Your survival, trade, business. There's the business of church is business. I mean, it really is. The business of government is business. Business of media is business. Um, eh, but they're emphasizing something different. Business, they emphasize trade, and fair trade is only free trade, democracy, fair trade that everyone's considered a trading partner. Even those that you're giving to, um, there's something you get back, no matter how well or poorly the person, organization, country giving back to you. Because to give is also to give to yourself. That's why Jesus said, "Blessed are it's more blessed to give than to receive." I'm not a scholar. That may be chimney corner scripture, but it's something Jesus would have said. Um, I believe it comes from, it's more blessed to give than, and so in a sense, when you're giving and you're realizing you're also receiving, that's that's beautiful. If you're just receiving and you don't understand that you're actually also giving something back, the opportunity for the other person to love you. This is not as blessed. So therefore, we're blessed to give than to receive. It's a matter of perspective, like all of the things I'm talking about. So politics, who you pick to govern, governance needs to be aware these basic elements that make democracy strong. Rules of the game need to allow all of these voices to have their clear, independent uh, expression. That means not one part, not one of these perspectives is taking over the rest. Now, if business takes over everything, that's what you call an oligarchy, right? Those who have all the power. Um, yeah, that's bad for democracy. It's also like kid and you running the show all alone, and that's in kind of insanity. All of them are a form of insanity if they're operating. Take a look at it. Government is everything. Yeah, that's a problem. Uh, yeah, I've seen that. That's the end result of the pushing the virtues of sharing on people. Got birth in communism. That's that cuts into freedom, right? Shouldn't be forced to share. You should share from your heart. Force people, then then that's just oppressive, and that kind of government that doesn't work. So that's yeah, no good. So the other thing, like, well, what's the media? What's wrong with the media running it? Well, it's like your hippie commune. That everything's experimental. Don't want things to be up in the air all the time. Oh, what about this perspective? What about this? There's a thousand more, lost in that. It's not focused. So that's not a good system. If you look over to just look at the internet now, you don't know fact from fiction, because there's just so many perspectives wrong, and there's no fact checking. That's the governance. That's the objectivity part. That can be a very bad thing. Now, church running everything, well, certainly that's been tried. Um, and it's not all about compassion alone. Because the cash, and you have to know where it's going. So the more you emphasize just one point, the more you lose that point. So you all of these freedom, they have to have free voice. I call this wise freedom, where business or trade is educated by all three of these factors from independent positions. That's kind of hard to come up with. Founding fathers tried their best. They needed an educated electorate at that time when rich people had any education. Oh, kind of forgive them a little bit. Having that flawed form of democracy. Women couldn't vote. But you see, as we grew and evolved, these perspectives started to be stronger and more independent. Is how beautiful that's the United States of America, where you've got everybody templed. They got churches, all the buildings next door to each other. I mean, not far away from me. They're everywhere. It's freedom. So we need this wise freedom. That wise freedom is a kind of balance that meets human needs better. And meeting human need, that's the whole point, helping our species survive. Democracy, the last great hope. World. Hope you're seeing, these voices are also in your sources of virtue. That's the thing I want you to understand. Ask your questions. You can have time. Comments really helps the channel in this perspective. And we're in a fight to save Elon Musk from their threat. Similar pattern. In fact, Hitler had rich backers in order to get to where he had power. Different system of government, somewhat parliamentary, but the same pattern. And people just falling in line. We can't let that happen. Our beloved states of cannot let that happen. We have to be distant. So right now, that threat focuses not just this country suffering, attack on democracy. It's a worldwide problem. So evil of that is rising. Not just and we got to promote this kind of wisdom. Have a little wisdom. Self, your heart, see these perspectives. Wisdom will grow. You will grow. Democracy. Live. So I'm not the best teacher in the world. Um, hoping that many others will join in an effort. There are going to be. That's what this channel's all about. So if you subscribe, we, you'll have an opportunity. Try to invite you to Zoom calls. Uh, First part of the Zoom call, we decide what we're going to talk about and who wants to stay and be in the recorded part, and how they want to, what their roles will. That's kind of fun. Whole thing actually think about. And you can also submit videos to the subscriber. Subscribe and do share the videos that their their voice is your voice. Share it and um, share the video and comment. Share your thoughts, your questions. Answer one another's questions in the comments, and that's this is a group thing for everybody, no matter what country or you're up to. The United States is pivotal in that defense. Wherever you are, you need to be concerned about what's happening. Now, being democracy, being threatened. And like the video, if you like this, like the that helps too. And if you want to troll us, that's up to you. But if you don't like what we're saying, you're actually helping the channel people. Thank you. And so, well, until next time, stand up for and firm against that which, although you have empathy with your enemy, although you love your, don't choose enemies of democracy that in you. Yep. So until next time, remember the world of wonder. Realize it's part of it. Wonder are better, good you've done or the bad you've done. Dream of closer, true, closer and closer. Mystic path, inner mind. Okay. Have a great day. If whatever time zone you're in, be the long